Hi everyone, welcome to Crochet Sneakers tutorial part 2. This is where we left off last time, so I will continue making the sneaker. Now I will crochet the lace part. I start by inserting my hook into the loop which was on this marker. Next, I will place single crochets in every stitch of the previous row. This was 1, then 2, and 3. So I did 3 single crochets, and now I will place one more single crochet right into this corner space. This is my first row. Chain 1 and I turn my work. I will continue placing single crochets in every stitch. And here's my last single crochet. Now I will grab some stitches on the side. I insert my hook to the next stitch from my work. 1 and 1 more into the next one. 2. This counts as a chain for the next row. Now I insert my hook into this space, into this first stitch, and by doing this I'm increasing amount of stitches in every following row. This is the last stitch and chain 1. I turn my work. I finished 3 rows and this is the 4th row of the white color. Then I will change the color. And this is the stitch where I will grab the thread of the other color and will continue doing the gray strip. That is a bit tricky, but please keep your yarn tight at this point. So I pulled the thread of the new color and now I'm placing 2 single crochets into the side. I keep my white yarn inside of this stitching. Now I turn my work and will proceed doing single crochets in this new gray color. I will continue doing these rows until I reach the amount of rows I need. Making these shoes might seem difficult, but believe me, once you start, you will figure it out. And now this is the spot where I introduce the white yarn again. So I do not finish my last stitch, and I'm just pulling another color through both of these loops. Then I will continue as before. This is the amount of stripes I did, so I have 4 white stripes and 3 gray stripes. This is my last row. This is the 4th of the white stripes. I do 2 single crochets into the side, and this is the place where I stop for now and place my marker into this loop. In total, I have 17 single crochet stitches. Now I need to do the same on the other side. As you saw, I pulled my yarn all the way from the other side to this spot, and now I'm placing my hook into this corner space. I pull the yarn, and this is my first stitch. Now I will turn my work and continue placing 3 more single crochets. I have 4 stitches in total, and next I will place 2 single crochets to the side. I turned my work, and I will keep crocheting the following rows the same way I did for the other side. That was my 4th row, so now I introduce the gray color. At this point I didn't want to trim the video, so I would like to show you how I deal with changing the color. Okay, here it goes. I tightened it all up and I take the loose end into the stitching. I hide it. And here comes the change of color again. I just pull the white yarn and keep crocheting another stripe in white. I finished lace parts on both sides, and at this point it is very important to check for symmetry. Also on this side I have 17 stitches. Next step is to start crocheting the heel. I start by finding the middle and placing a marker there. Now I count 10 stitches to the right from the marker and place my marker into the 11th stitch. I repeat the same for the other side. Now I place the hook into the stitch where my marker was and I do a slip stitch. Next I will do a row of single crochets until I reach the marker on the other side. Here comes my last stitch, and I place marker into the created loop. This is row 1. Now I take my yarn with me and start another row on the other side. I insert my hook into the first stitch from the left to right. I pull the yarn, slip stitch, and at first I will do 2 single crochets into the next 2 stitches. Here comes one more single crochet, and that counts as a long stitch. So now I place single crochet into the next stitch, and the following stitch I will place over the row. So I'm creating the sort of zigzag pattern. Next stitch into the row, and the following stitch over the row. So I'm creating a pattern of short and long stitches. It is similar to moss stitch, but I'm not doing a chain between the stitches. I just alternate placing the single crochets into the row and over the previous row. And I will keep doing that until the end of my row, until I reach my marker. The last 2 stitches, I have one over the row, and the last one I'm placing into the row. And I'm also taking this tiny loop on my marker into this stitch. Now I place 3 more single crochets into the next 3 stitches. That is how my row looks like, and I will continue doing that for the following row. I'm placing my hook into the 3rd stitch, I slip stitch, and then I'm doing a couple of single crochets, one more, and then I need to match the pattern from the previous row with these long and short stitches. So here I go for the long stitch first, then the short, then comes the long again. If your number of stitches is slightly different, the main thing you need to watch for is to just match the pattern. That where you had a long stitch in the previous row, you will place a short one into this row and all the way around, so that you will have this moss stitch appearance. That is how it looks like on my other shoe. Okay, so I finished the 2nd row, and now I proceed with the 3rd row. So I place my hook into the stitch right to the marked stitch, and I did a slip stitch. Now I'm taking this marker loop onto my 2nd stitch, then I'm doing one more single crochet, and then I will match my pattern again. So I will alternate the short and long stitches. Unfortunately, the angle of my camera is not very convenient at this point. I'm very sorry for that, but I just hope that you will be able to figure it out. And in the upcoming tutorials, I will try to do that a bit more clearly. This kind of stitch you can often see in baskets. So if you maybe just Google the moss stitch or similar stitch for baskets, you can also use that information for crocheting this heel. I came to the end of the row and I am placing 2 last stitches, so 1 stitch over the row and the last stitch into the row, and also taking this loop on a marker into the stitch. And here I need to make 3 more stitches. 1, 2, and the third one goes into this space. All right, placing the marker into the loop, and these are the first rows of the heel. Now I will start with connecting the lace part with the heel. So I insert my hook into this first stitch of the lace part. Now I need to match my pattern, so I go over the row into this space, then I will jump over the following stitch and will try to match my pattern. So here how it looks like so far. I need to match this zigzag pattern, alternating the long and short stitches, and I will do so until the end of the row. And here I arrived at the end of the row, so I have now the long stitch, then a short stitch, then another long stitch, and I'm taking this loop from the marker into this long stitch, and then I place a single crochet into also the first stitch of the side. Next row, I place my hook, skipping 1 stitch into the next stitch, and I slip stitch. Now I need to match my pattern again, so I will jump over this skip stitch and will place a long stitch first, then a short, then a long stitch again, and I will keep up matching this pattern until the end of the row. And here I am placing a couple of last stitches. So here was the long stitch, here's a short, and the last one would be a long stitch again. That is how it looks like close up. And I take this tiny loop from the marker and I also skip 1 stitch and place last stitch here. I insert my marker and we'll keep doing that. So here I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 rows in total, and I count 10 stitches from the top, so I insert my hook into the 10th stitch from the top, I slip stitch, and this will be my last row here. So I keep matching my pattern by placing a long stitch, a short stitch, and then a long stitch again. This is how it looks like so far. I matched my pattern, and this is how my connection looks like. So far, so good. Now I will keep working on the lace part, and that's my next starting point. So I insert hook between these triple crochets, and I will slip stitch. Now I will place single crochets and go around this lace part in single crochets. I arrived at this top, and I will place at least 2 single crochets into the same space. If you feel like you need one more, please do so. And I will continue going around in single crochets. So I don't know why my cat started yelling. I am sorry for that. When I arrived at the bottom, at this connection between the lace part and the heel, I again need to match the pattern. Watch out for these long stitches. They have to slide towards the heel. Here, that would be my last long stitch, and I will just single crochet from this point. Next, I will continue doing single crochets in each stitch of this left lace part. I arrived at the end of this row, and now I want to show you how I connect the lace part to the front on this side. So I also need to find the space between the triple crochets, and I'm doing a single crochet, placing the marker here, and that was my first row. I will do another row of the same kind. I'm taking my yarn all the way to the right side, and I place my hook into the next space between the triple crochets. I slip stitch, and I will go in single crochets one more time around the shoe. Here I am doing the third row, and in this row I will crochet some holes for the laces. So here I just did one single crochet, and now I chain 3. Now I skip 2 stitches and will place 3 single crochets into the next 3 stitches. Again, chain 3, skip 2, and 3 single crochets into the next 3 stitches. I repeat it in total 6 times, so I have 6 lace holes. This is going to be my last lace hole. I skip 2, I place 1 single crochet, next single crochet, and another single crochet into the same space. This is how this part looks like, and the rest is the same. Now I'm about to do the last lace hole of the left side. Last single crochet. I take this tiny loop from the marker on my hook and pull the yarn through all the holes. Didn't work the first time. Now I look for the next space between the triple crochets. I will place it right there. Slip stitch. And I will pause with a lace part for now. I need to find the middle of my heel. I will place the marker here. Now I count 7 stitches and will place my marker into the 8th stitch to the right and to the left as well. And this will be my decorative row. So I insert my hook into the marked stitch and I work in gray color. Please watch closely where I insert my hooks for the following stitches. I go over the row, the first stitch, the following stitch again over the row but deeper, and over the row a bit higher again. So I created this tube or this little triangle. I will repeat it 3 more times. Last single crochet here, and I will place the marker. That was my first row, and I will add a couple of just single crochet rows on top of that. I will insert my hook into the 3rd stitch, slip stitch, and we'll do a row of single crochets. This is how I end this row. And I'm adding 3 more stitches. I will place the marker and I will repeat it one more time. Just another row of single crochets. I insert the hook into the third stitch again, do a row of single crochets and add 3 more stitches on the left. And here goes the very last row, so I insert my hook between the triple crochets, single crochet into the first stitch, and now I will work the holes. I will place 3 single crochets in each lace hole and 2 single crochets in the space between. Be careful to take all the yarn, all the threads into the stitching, so you will not have any loose yarn. This is how my shoe looks like after I finished this last row. I'm very happy with the result. It wasn't easy at times and I had to improvise on spot. I'm still working on a better tutorial with a better explanation, especially about crocheting the heel part. So please stay put for the upcoming tutorials. And if you like this video, please hit that subscribe button. See you soon. Bye.